Hi, welcome to our channel Good News. What do you think of Pelosi's recent trip to Asia? Former U.S. President Trump stated that Pelosi's potential visit to Taiwan said that the last thing she should mess with is China affairs, it will only make things worse. He also pointed out that Pelosi's intervention in the Taiwan issue is only to create problems and make money. On July 31, local time, the U.S. House of Representatives official website announced that U.S. In a news statement announcing her travel to Asia, House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi stated that she would be leading a congressional delegation to the Indo-Pacific area, which would include stops in Korea, Japan, Singapore, Malaysia, and South Korea. Can increase our common knowledge of Korea and Japan, our delegation did not mention Taiwan, China further advance our shared, did not mention Taiwan, China. According to the statement, the trip's main topics will be shared security, economic engagement, and democratic governance in the Indo-Pacific. Pelosi left for Asia on July 29 local time. Whether or not she would stop in Taiwan has garnered international attention. Pelosi allegedly told the reporters that she was happy on the day she was leaving because of security difficulties. But she said, "I'll let them know the precise route we're taking." On social media, several netizens provided a real-time flight path map of Pelosi's trip. Officials still indicate that the information is pending or whether recent 09-0540 flight sit would visit Taiwan. The number of internet users who followed Pelosi's flight route once reached 100,000. The plane eventually landed in Honolulu. The location of flights is no longer shown in real time. In the early hours of December 31 at Beijing time, Pelosi, who had been silent for 18 hours, posted 4 tweets in a row about the United States without mentioning her trip to Asia or Taiwan. Relevant media reports state that Pelosi continued to hype up herself prior to departing on her journey to Asia by frequently overstating her likelihood of visiting Taiwan. The same day, however, White House National Security Council spokesperson Kirby was attempting to draw the line, claiming that Pelosi's visit plan did not violate White House policy and that she has the authority to fly in military aircraft. Why then are the Taiwan authorities so low-key if Pelosi insists on visiting Taiwan and the White House likewise claims that it does not want a conflict between China and the United States since the One China policy of the United States has not changed? In light of China's increasing threats, resistance to Pelosi's visit to Taiwan has grown both domestically and internationally. The Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Zakharova tweeted on the 30th that Pelosi's trip was a dangerous act of military and political adventurism. He also noted that Pelosi's intervention in the Taiwan issue is only intended to create problems and make money. Former U.S. President Trump said that Pelosi's potential visit to Taiwan said that the last thing she should mess with is China affairs, it will only make things worse. But what is perplexing is how much quieter the Taiwanese are in comparison. Su Zhencheng, the head of the administrative department, said that he would like to thank Pelosi for his support and friendship over the years and welcome any friendly visitors from abroad, but so far, neither Tsai Ing-wen nor his office have made any statements in favor of or against Pelosi's potential Taiwan visit. Oh Jiangan, a spokesman for the Foreign Affairs Department of the Taiwan authorities, said that there has been unrest as a result of Pelosi. The Taiwanese government also relies on American armaments, so they don't want to appear to be thwarting Pelosi's purported support. Political analysts also stated that they kept a low profile in part because it could help deflect criticism if Pelosi's planned visit materializes. It is in the former's interest to maintain a low profile and avoid giving the impression that the Taiwan authorities are actively encouraging Pelosi to visit, scientist at the Australian National University. If it publicly asks her to visit, mainland China may view it as a conspiracy. Countries in the region, like Japan, South Korea, and even Australia, may be less sympathetic if they believe the Taiwan authorities are actively creating problems out of thin air. Additionally, while Pelosi's potential Taiwan visit was widely reported, it was unclear whether the decision came from the United States or Pelosi. The news has largely focused on upcoming local elections, and scandals over the biggest have suggested that not all Taiwanese support Pelosi's visit. She is also not as well known in Taiwan as former President Donald Trump or Biden. Tourists and families strolling through Dawn Park on a Friday morning in Chinese Taipei said they did not sense any threat of war. A Taipei resident with the last name Su, 76, said Pelosi's visit would offer symbolic support, but Ms. Zhou, a resident of Taichung who was visiting Taipei over the weekend, said she opposed Pelosi's visit because it would create more difficulties and raise controversy. The Associated Press academics commented that these claims show that Taiwan is being kicked around like a political football, and it's not helping. A Taiwanese media comment said that facts have proven that is not just a rant, but has a variety of tools to choose from, including military, diplomatic, economic, legal, and public opinion. By that time, Pelosi will have not only failed to accomplish her aim but also given Beijing the chance to formally declare its sovereignty over Taiwan. In other words, there isn't much time left for outside forces to spend resources on the mainland and play the Taiwan card as they choose. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of National Defense, and the Taiwan Affairs Office of the State Council all released comments in quick succession opposing Pelosi's intended visit to Taiwan in response to her planned trip there. The Chinese military will never stand idly by and will take decisive action to block any attempt by outside forces to meddle and split Taiwan independence if the U.S. persists on pursuing its own way. The People's Liberation Army will definitely take countermeasures and will not allow separatist activities or involvement by other forces, according to Wu Chen, a spokeswoman for the Ministry of National Defense. The most potent language is action. Relevant parties must learn to adjust, reflect, and, more importantly, pull back from the abyss. 8111-7-291.7 On the 28th, the Pingtan Maritime Safety Administration of China also issued a navigational alert. On July 30, from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m., live fire training missions were conducted in the waters near Yikliu, Pingtan, Fujian, and all ships were forbidden from entering. On July 31, in the morning, at a press conference for the Air Force Aviation Open event, Colonel Shin Jinka stated that the People's Air Force's sacred duty is to defend the great rivers and mountains of the motherland. The motherland's prized island is circled by the Air Force's multi-type fighter planes, expanding and tempering the capability to protect territorial integrity and national sovereignty. The Air Force is capable, confident, and determined to protect territorial integrity and national sovereignty. Thanks for watching in this video. You can add your ideas or suggestions below. Please keep following our channel and like our videos.